Good evening. I would like to share with you guys a strange experience I had last Saturday, February 24th, 2018. This was at the Springville Sierra property that we went to on an expedition. It was about 11:53 at night, so fairly late, and we were playing cards, and a friend of mine went outside. I just want to go outside for a second. And I heard something, and I wasn't sure what it was because I was in the house at the table. But he said, hey, there's like a really, really big owl out here, like making this really deep hooing noise. And it sounds like it's like right off the deck. So I jumped right up, ran outside to hear it. And all I had my phone. I didn't have a flashlight or anything on me. We were playing cards. So I wasn't in Bigfoot mode. I think my GoPro was on the charger. So I just grabbed my phone and ran outside. The porch has pretty good lights. There's one on the side of the house where the cars are parked. And then there's a pretty good porch light out there. And I ran outside and I just got this super eerie feeling. Something very strange was going on. And it was eerily quiet. You can hear some dogs barking in the background, which normally you don't hear them bark that late at night because it's so cold out. So here's the footage. A little bit of the ways into it, you hear my camera's kind of looking off to the left, and then I hear a big crunch. And I got to tell you, the audio doesn't do it justice. That crunch was about 10 feet from the porch. There's a big redwood tree right next to it, and it sounded like it was right behind that redwood tree, and it sounded big. And yeah, so I'll let you guys watch the recording. I do drop a couple F-bombs. We were pretty scared. We slept with all the porch lights on that night. So yeah, have a look, folks. Let me know if you spot anything. There's really not much other than you can hear the crunch. So I tried my best with what I had at the time, which was just my phone. Yeah, so right after this, where the video ends, I ran inside and grabbed my rifle, which was right by the door. It has a Surefire flashlight mounted to it. It's like a 500 lumen, super bright flashlight. So I ran outside. I didn't have any video of it because I was more concerned with working with the rifle. Brian came with me. He was kind of behind me, and we went about 10 or 15 yards from the porch, just kind of where the porch light and the exterior lights would cover. We didn't go any farther than that because I'm like, Brian, I don't feel safer going any farther. And he's like, yeah, I second that. And as I was scanning down kind of the same direction that the sound came from, which is further down by a fence line, just for a split second, I caught an eye shine. And then it was as I was sweeping and I came back, I couldn't see it. And eye shine was decently off the ground. But then again, you're pointing downhill. So maybe could have been a coyote or a bear, but it was very suspicious. The loud hooting owl noise, and then silence, dogs barking in the background. Then I heard that big crunch by the porch. I couldn't see it with the porch light, and by the time I got handed a flashlight, I couldn't make out anything. It was a decent flashlight that Garrett handed me, but it wasn't super bright, so it didn't have that good a throw. So I don't know what it was. By the time I ran inside and ran back down with my rifle on the light, something was down by the fence line, which was probably 75 yards away. And the next morning, I didn't get any footage of it. You could see where something was trampling all through that brush. And from the angle of it, you could hide yourself behind the redwood tree that was by the porch. Like you could approach from there and you were mostly covered by the redwood tree. And some of the grass was trampled down. And we followed it down to the fence line. And the fence is always in good shape, but this last year it's got a bunch of holes in it to where you could either step over it or crawl under it. I found a little bit of hair on the fence because it's a barbed wire, but then we quickly determined that it was a real light, long blonde hair, and then there are horses that go there, and one of them's like a real light blonde with a long tail. So I didn't bother because it looked a lot like horsehair to me. But you could totally see where something could either just belly crawl right through, even somebody really big could just get under it because there's a big hole, or if you're really tall, that's, you know, about 3.5 feet high, you could just step over it too. So something came up and approached us that night. If Pat didn't hear the big owl sound, the big hoo hoo, like the proverbial 800-pound owl, I probably just would have assumed it was a coyote. We had a fire going. We were barbecuing that night. We were listening to music. This property goes, you know, periods of time with nobody up there. So I don't know. We probably were the big curiosity in the woods if there was a Bigfoot, which I'm kind of leaning to maybe it was. I could be wrong. I don't have any definitive proof. But we were very freaked out. And I've seen all sorts of critters off that porch before and never been freaked out. It was just a strange circumstance. And that most of the guys that went up there with me are kind of like, yeah, Matt's crazy. His Bigfoot thing, maybe there's something out there. But I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to sleep with all the lights on. They're like, yeah, okay, that sounds good to me. I'm like, I think we're going to stay on the porch. And they're like, yeah, okay, we're fine with that. So even the big tough guys were a little bit freaked out by it, and so was I. So yeah, that was pretty much the story. I got a lot more footage and things to go over from the trip. Nothing this exciting. We had a great time. It was just cold. It was in the 20s and teens at night. Anyway, folks, more to come. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.